I've been trading this strategy for over 10 years, and this is the only setup that you need to learn if you want to make money consistently. We're going to go over 10 trade reviews using the supply and demand trading strategy, and we're going to talk about things that I like and what I don't like about these trade reviews. We're also going to be touching on each one of these trades, trade management, when to be adding into your winning trades, when to be cutting your losers, managing your stop loss. And for you guys being here today, I'm going to give you access to our most recent Wednesday coaching calls so that you can see what goes on in the Moneyball trading program, where we look at 20 different trade reviews on this trading strategy. And for the second thing that I have for you guys is it is Black Friday. I want to give you guys a special offer to join the Moneyball trading program. It's going to be 40% off. I would love to have you guys part of the team, but we will talk about that later and where to get access to that recording. Let's go over some trade reviews. I appreciate if you guys like the video, subscribe, and if you have any questions, reach out to me on social media at Moneyball Austin. Let's get into it. So what we're going to go over is some trade reviews from traders in the Moneyball trading program. The first one I want to have a look at is a trade from Tyson. This was a really good crude oil short. And some of you guys might be asking, what's the best time frame sequence to use? I will pop that on the screen right now. Those are the time frame sequences that I recommend using depending on which type of trader you are. Okay, so the first one we're going to be looking at is crude oil. This is a short that he took that ended up being a very nice winner, but let's talk about it. His higher time frame, we always start on the higher time frame. He is selling back into this area of supply. So we have prices coming back up into an area of supply in a downtrend. I definitely like this area for selling opportunities. You can see the market transition right here. It's in an uptrend, higher highs, higher lows. We're breaking structure, removing pivot points, breaking trend lines. Now we're creating lower lows and lower highs. So we have prices going back up into an area of higher time frame supply. We have prices reacting off of some type of resistance, and we have prices reacting off of this moving average that he has. So this is a great time to be looking for selling opportunities. He then went down to his lower time frame, and this is a concept that I want you to ask yourself while trading. What did these zones accomplish? All right. Think of yourself as a manager hiring someone for your business, and these zones are coming to you with their resume. You want to hire the best zone for the job that you're offering, right? I'm getting carried away trying to hire zones as an employee, but that's what you're doing. All right. What did these zones accomplish in their lifetime? You want to make sure that these zones are actually doing something, right? And this is why I say, make sure that these zones that you end up trading at are breaking clear structure, that are breaking trend lines, that are removing opposing pivot point zones, right? Doing this in a very strong fashion. It takes 2, 3, maybe 4 candlesticks to break the trend, remove the pivot point, right? To accomplish these things, to go over 2 to 1. That's what we want to see. And this is exactly what he's done here. We just talked about the higher time frame. And then his lower time frame, he has this higher high, higher low, higher high, higher low. Prices breaking structure, very strong move to the downside, and he's selling the pullback back into the supply zone. I love everything about this short. I thought it was phenomenal. It is everything that we talk about in supply and demand, higher high, higher low, breaking structure, breaking the momentum line, doing it all in a very quick time. All right, so I like something like that. I think you could even add into this position. It didn't really give him an opportunity on a 5-minute, so this is why you would probably have to go into a 1-minute time frame. So this right here that I'm circling is going to be a 1-minute higher high. It's going to look something like this, right, on a 1-minute time frame. And so maybe he could try to add into his winning position on a lower time frame in here, and so he wins double, right, in case if it goes and hits his take profit, which it does, right? But then also managing his stop loss, which is, I think, a very important concept. I think at this point, once it starts dropping down like this into here, you start cranking that stop loss down to say right here and protect yourself, because if this thing starts reversing and goes above that area, it's probably going to continue up and break the whole structure. This is a very important concept. I see traders do it all the time. People across social media send me their trade reviews. I'm like, why are you still holding this trade? It's going completely against you. Why didn't you close it already, right? That is the key difference between a winning trader and a break-even trader, is trade management, okay? Let's go into the next trade review. This is still Tyson. He is longing the Russell. I love this trade. Number one thing on the higher time frame, he's buying in an uptrend. So before we had lower lows, lower highs, lower lows. Okay, we're removing pivot point zones. We're breaking downward trend lines. That's a change of character. The market is starting to change, right? And now we are printing higher highs and higher lows. He is trying to buy this thing now as it's going in an uptrend. So he goes down to his lower time frame, and this was his lower time frame, right? Kind of lower low, lower high, and then we get this break to the upside. Where did this break to the upside occur? It really didn't occur down here. It started to occur right here with that imbalance right there. Now, I don't like this on a 5-minute time frame, so I'm going to go down to a lower time frame, the 1 minute. This is the photo that I attached to his trade review, and I was like, hey, this is what I like and what I don't like. And his setup I really like, but it looks a lot better on a 1 minute. So this is the level that he is trading at down here. Okay, look at the imbalance that it accomplished. Okay, this imbalance to the upside and this whole imbalance, all right, it took out this area of resistance supply and it took out this area over here. All right, that is the same area that we saw over here on his 5-minute time frame. It's blowing through this downward channel, right? It's blowing through it. This is the origin of the move right here. So that's where we want to be longing this trade. That's where we want to buy the pullback back into that zone where he gets long right here. Okay, so he gets long on that pullback. Okay, and a way that we can manage this trade, I think, is originally I think his stop was right here, if not somewhere down here. Once it starts going like this, higher high, higher low, I'm probably cranking this stop up. I'm cranking this stop from here to probably here. Same thing from here up to here. Because if prices start going lower, it's probably going to end up breaking this whole zone altogether. So I'll take a 1/4 loss on this instead of taking a full loss. You know what I mean? In this case, it's basically like a break-even trade. So at this point, I'm cranking my stop to here. And the second thing I'm going to start asking myself is, can I add to this winning position? Okay, well, what do we see prices doing? It came down, rallied up, came down, and actually started making higher highs. If it was struggling to break the higher highs, this is not something I would want to add into. So if prices only went up to here and then sold off, I'm not adding into this winning trade. All right, that doesn't tell me that it's continuing to make higher highs at this point. So I would be looking, I was asking him, like, hey, if you're going to add, this is where it makes sense into adding into this area and keeping your stop loss down here, managing your risk, but adding into your winning position at this point. And he would have made a lot more if he's adding into his winning trade, right? And so that's an overall really good top-down analysis of what he did. But I think he could manage the trade a little bit better by potentially adding into his winning trades and moving up his stop loss. Very important concept for traders to understand. Let's talk about another one. This is a trade that, why didn't this trader close this trade earlier? All right. Overall, his setup is phenomenal. We start off by pound USD on the 2-hour time frame. Downtrend. Look at this. Beautiful downtrend. Lower low, lower high, lower low, lower high. So he's going to be selling in a downtrend. He's also going to be selling back into an area of supply. The third thing is he is going to be buying the US dollar. In this case, he's selling the pound, buying the dollar. So he's going to be buying the dollar, which has been a very strong, it's the strongest currency over the last 2 months, tremendously, right? So I definitely agree with looking at buying the US dollar. He then went down to his lower time frame, and this is what his zone accomplished, right? I see so many people on social media sending me their trade reviews, and I'm like, dude, what did the zone accomplish? It did nothing, right? Or it took 30 candlesticks to do this. Why are we trading zones that accomplish nothing, right? So this right here, the imbalance, this strong imbalance to the downside, is taking out this pivot point, all within a very short time period. This is a great short. I like everything about this, but it was a losing trade. But my comments to this trader is going to be, how did you manage the trade? Because this short gave you every opportunity to close the short when it was telling you it's no longer a good short. So he gets short. All right, let's scroll in and see. He gets short, okay? Prices fail. They sell off. Great. I'm thinking in my head, fantastic. Okay, but then it starts going back up. And notice these candlesticks. These are strong candlesticks, strong green candlesticks. They're not strong as in the fact of look how big the candlesticks are compared to this one, but they're small, strong candlesticks that are closing strongly, right? That is prices just closing up, closing up, closing up. It's telling you zero indication that these sellers are trying to step in. The buyers are in complete control, right? So at this point, you've got to decide like, hey, you know what? We sold off, but now we're rallying up. Like at this point, you've got to start considering just closing your trade and calling it a 50% loss on something like this. If you didn't want to close it there, well then why aren't you closing it here, right? At this area. It's failing to create red candlesticks and continue the move down at this point. It's not breaking these lows or anything like that. It's just continuing to print up. So why are we remaining short into something that gave you, this is a 1 minute candlestick. So it's giving you 20 minutes, 15 minutes to close this trade at taking a half loss rather than taking a full loss over here, right? This is just poor risk. This is poor risk management. That's what it is. It's poor trade management, right? And this is a major difference between someone that consistently produces results and doesn't. Of course, you might have the chance where it finally sells off. And you know what? You can still get short again if you still like the selling position. But at this point, it's just not telling you that these sellers are really taking control. And so that's why I would just close the trade altogether at a half loss, right? You're going to be a winner and you're going to be a loser sometime, and that's okay, right? But you've got to get rid of these losing trades early, okay? Manage the trade. If this thing started selling off, I'd be cranking off that stop loss down to a very small loss at that point if it continued to sell off, protecting myself because I know if it continues to rally up, then it's probably going to continue to rally up and go above my original stop loss. So I will take a small loss. But how do you figure this stuff out? You do it through journaling and reviewing. Let's go into another short. This is a short. This is all really good stuff, like phenomenal. This is why the video to that coaching call that I talk about in the Moneyball trading program, every Wednesday we have a Wednesday coaching call where we look at people's trade reviews and I go over things that I like and what I don't like, whether it's a winner or a loser. And I talk about, hey, could you have added into this or closed the trade altogether? How would I manage my stop, right? Because everyone's different. It's not just follow my rules precisely, but I go over different scenarios to say, this is how my brain would think if this happens and how I would manage the trade. Yeah, I would have gotten out a lot sooner than my original take profit, but hey, I understand over the long run that that's probably not what's going to happen, right? And so watch it. It's going to be in the link below in the description of this video, completely for free. That's something that we do every single week in our Wednesday meetings. It's really good for an actual coaching and learning how to properly implement the system. Very important. So this was a short. Same thing. We don't have access to the higher time frame, but I remember going over this in our coaching call and I broke this down. I love the idea of selling this thing. His lower time frame, that when he is getting short, is right here. Why is he getting short so early? You basically have a market that's like this: higher highs, higher lows, higher highs. At this point, it was failing to create higher highs, which is a good sign. We've actually started breaking upward momentum lines, trend lines, and failing to create higher highs. That is an indication that the buyers are unable to step in anymore. So we might start to see this thing go sideways and then break down. But I need to wait for the breakdown to occur, okay? So in this case, we have the higher highs, higher lows. We don't get the breakdown until that move right there. That move that you see right here on this chart, that is your zone that you want to be shorting at, okay? What did this zone accomplish? Okay, this zone accomplished with the imbalance candlesticks, took out this pivot point, took out this pivot point that created a higher high. The momentum line has already been broken, right? Look at this imbalance. It's phenomenal. That's the level that I want to short at if prices come back into. Now, yes, you probably were not going to get filled here, but that's the short level that I would target at with my stop, probably right where you have your stop up here. That's where I would target my stop, above all these highs. I think that's a logical position, right? Because if you get stopped out, it's probably going to go a lot higher. Okay, so that's the short that I like when it comes to trading the system, is making sure that these zones are actually accomplishing something, right? There's so many different trade reviews and concepts that we could go into, but it's so important. And this is why, if we have a look at backtesting journaling, if we look at this and we look at the one-on-ones that I just completed, this is a one-on-one review I did with Tash, talking about quality zones versus poor zones. 14 winners, 3 losing trades, okay? Versus a poor zone, 2 wins, 3 losses. You look at another trader, 9 out of 10 traders come back to me with the same results, but it's different when they put their own time and effort into these trade reviews and they dissect their own trading. They have a different level of trust going forward with the system, and they know how to properly implement it. Trader, Tyson, 19 winners, 3 losing trades. When he's trading a poor zone, 1 winner, 5 losers. Let's look at another trader. Good quality zone, 12 winners, 5 losers. Trading a poor zone, 3 winners, 6 losers. All right, I'm literally telling you without screaming and upsetting the neighbors below me, you need to trade at quality zones that accomplish something. You have to do it. Okay, but this is something that I do with traders in the Moneyball trading program. Is once they have 30 trades, I go and do a complete one-on-one. I actually have another trader that is going to be doing this one-on-one with me. He has his trade reviews, and I've given him a list of things that I want him to accomplish, and then we're going to conduct our one-on-one. All right, so I look forward to doing that one-on-one with him. And this is why it's so important to actually have a coach showing you how to properly implement the system. I would love to have you part of the program, where the whole goal is to create a consistently profitable trader in 90 days or less. And so for this weekend, it's going to be a 40% off of the Moneyball trading program. So this is a fantastic time to join the program. I would love to work with you. You're going to first start off by having a welcome call with me, but then also reading a 75-page ebook breaking down the full system of the core trading strategy. Okay, then you're going to start off by going through each lesson. And after each lesson, you are then going to have homework to hand in that will be marked by me going over each lesson. That lets me know that you understand each lesson before moving on to the next lesson, right? So there's that actual coach and learning implementation, how to properly use the system. And then we have our weekly coaching calls, right? Every Sunday we go over the weekly prep, the watch list, go over any questions that people might have about trading or the system. Our Wednesday coaching calls, that you can also find that one that I told you about, remember, in the description of this video. That will be our most recent Wednesday trade review coaching call, right? Where we go over people's trade reviews and we answer questions, and we go over people's trade reviews of what I like and what I don't like, basically, right? So the whole program is built to create consistently profitable traders in 90 days or less with a direct coach, right? Nothing drives me crazier than when you join somebody and then they say like, oh, you can't have access to me and you got to pay $200 to jump into a live coaching call. No. All right. Everyone that's in the program can have direct access. If they have questions, they just ask me directly. I'm marking homework with a recording, a 10 to 15 minute recording. If you fail that, then I get you to re-hand it in and I make another recording, right? Followed by the 2x weekly coaching calls, where we go over people's watch list and my watch list for the week. And then we look at people's trade reviews and what I like and what I don't like. It's an actual coaching experience, learning how to properly implement the system. That's something I pride myself on, is the actual support role that I give to every trader in the program. To join the program, there will be a link in the description. So I look forward to jumping into a welcome call with you and getting your trading on the right track. If you have any questions, you can reach out to me on social media at Moneyball Austin. I appreciate if you guys like the video, subscribe, and I will see you in the next one. 2025 is right around the corner. Let's get you profitable. Cheers. Bye-bye.